great question. And like first and foremost, I don't watch the news. Like that's first and foremost. I mean, I keep myself up to date on like really important things, right? And but I'm not constantly with the news on every day because I found like if you ever watch a news segment like your local news, it's like repetitive of the same negative stories over and over again. The crime, the whatever bad things. Maybe they'll throw in a happy segment here and there, but it's like,
If you're
what are you
lucky.
if you're lucky, right? Like here's a school doing whatever and it's fun, but usually it's just you're literally programming yourself to be in a negative state. So it really was turning that off, and then for me it was taking time to actually sit and be still and go into meditation. And trust me, I am someone that when I first started this, I was like, I can't meditate, I can't quiet my mind, I don't know how, I suck at this, right? But meditation is a practice. So it's like a muscle. You just, the more you do it, the easier it gets. So it's kind of like giving yourself grace and starting small. And, I started off with guided meditations and just like 10-minute guided meditations, right? And every time, if you are someone that's like, I can't meditate, my mind won't shut off, I can't stop my thoughts, it's because you're not grounded. You're not grounded in your energy. And what that means is you're not basically coming back into your body, right? You're in your mind instead of your heart. So there's different tools and techniques I give my clients, just really quickly if you want to ground. It's a 4 breath count of breathing in for 4 counts, holding for 4 counts, releasing for 4 counts, doing that 4 times. I use alternate nostril breath work as well, which activates both sides of your brain. You can Google it, it's super easy, YouTube it. And then I also, call upon my spirit team. Everyone has a spirit team, angels, spirits, guides, whatever. That's what I say, and I ask them to come in to give me what do I need to know today. It's just asking a simple question. Another thing you can do if you don't like to meditate and maybe you like to journal is just free write, right? Like just sit with a journal, write out the question, what do I need to know today? And just allow yourself to start writing whatever.
And welcome back to the Passionate Pioneer podcast, series 3. I'm Beth. I am your passionate pioneer. And this podcast is your connection into spiritual awakening experiences and the path to joyful living. Today, I'm joined by Elizabeth Planson. Hi.
Thank Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm like so excited for this conversation. It's going to be so good.
Good, good. So, for people who don't know you, would you mind giving us a quick introduction before we dive into your story?
Yeah, so like you said, I'm Elizabeth, and I really have found my purpose as a soul purpose activator, spiritual mentor, spiritual business mentor, and healer. And so I use a combination of so many different tools, mindset, manifestation, different healing modalities in my work, and really helping others awaken their deeper soul calling, their deeper soul purpose, or just helping them in their spiritual journey, right? Because that's what exactly it is a journey. And there's so many things that come up while we're on this journey, right? And healings, that things that need to be let go of, and it's almost layer after layer, right? So that's I love helping people through all of that and really finding their way to help serve the world and just really make it a better place.
That's lovely. Yeah, there's so much to unpack there, just in
Yeah.
that, just in that introduction, right? Just the whole journey and the unraveling,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
which is, when you start on everyone thinks of spirituality as la 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 la, all light and roses, and it's not like that at all. It's one hell of a ride. And
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. And can you so take us back to how it all started. So what did a time in your life when you first felt like there was something missing, and
Yeah.
the start of your journey, Elizabeth?
Yeah. Yeah. So I had been dabbling a little bit in kind of like manifestation. We had just started going to a new church in about 2019. And where it was more spiritual based, they meditated in church. And so it was kind of like the beginning of a soft opening for me, like becoming more aware. We just wanted something to feel more connected to God and, something to give our kids a basis with. I was raised Catholic and I don't resonate with that religion anymore, but I just wanted to give them something to believe in, right? And I've always been intuitive. I've always, known like I've had these kind of psychic abilities, but never really had the time to develop them or the dedication. So the spiritual world, quote unquote, always has been something I've been into, right? Like psychics and crystals and all the things. But in 2020, when the world shut down and we all had so much time on our hands to do things and and just be, right? Because before then, and many people are still like this, and it's so easy to get into this. We're always going, 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 going. We never just be, right? We never just have like nothing to do, nowhere to go. And that really forced me to actually sit with myself and like that's when it's like the intuition really started to open to have this call, this pulling towards doing something else that I was currently doing. And I was actually working with my mom, which I had been doing outside right out of college. So at this point, it was 15 years almost. I'd been working for her with really just, and I loved working with her. But I didn't love the industry I was in because it wasn't my passion. It was hers. It wasn't my calling. But I was supposed to take over her company when she retired. So I had the whole plan set, right? Like it was all planned, what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And then I was like, no, no,
Mm.
this isn't it. This isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be helping people in a bigger way. And I had no idea what that was, right? I'm a business major and I'm like, how am I going to help people as a business major? Like in this kind of impactful way, right? And so that began my search and really just opening myself up to finding what that purpose was.
Yeah, that's really interesting that you mentioned the God word because in my experience, my personal experience, it took me a long time
Yeah.
to unravel
Mm-hmm.
everything that I'd been taught about God
Yes.
and understand what the universe, source, God,
Yes.
whatever the bigger picture is on
Mm-hmm.
the other side of this human life.
Yeah, yeah. And I use those words interchangeably. For me, it's all the same thing. God, source, universe,
Yeah.
spirit, whatever you resonates with you and feels good in your body and safe in your body. And I use them all. So I love that you pointed that out.
Well, yeah, because I had like lots of people, I suppose, I had a bad experience with the church.
Mm-hmm.
Just a
Yeah.
family experience, actually. I won't go into it, but
Yeah.
it wasn't anything terrible, but it was just a very, very uncomfortable,
As many of us have, right?
kind of ostracized
Yeah.
from the church. And so God for me had a very bad connotation. I literally couldn't say the word God
Yes.
without just getting angry and
Yeah.
it was really quite a gnarly time. And in fact I became an atheist first
Mm-hmm.
before I found my spiritual path.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that is a lot of people that grew up in strict religion, right? Or and just any
Yeah,
religion, really, and me myself included. It did take me a little time to start using God as well. I was using universe a lot or spirit, source. But now I've healed that part of me, right? It was
yeah.
just part of my journey and just being so grateful to be able to have those morals and values and everything, but realizing that I was always taught fear, right? And being afraid, and that I now have the power to not be in fear all the time and change my beliefs about what God really is.
Well, it's the rules, isn't it? And it's
Yeah.
that strict box that they put you in, you know.
Yeah,
And I just
100%.
and I feel that like spirituality is just it's almost like setting yourself free
Mm,
from those constraints. And I don't mean a moral compass because you've got to have that moral compass,
yeah.
but it's about believing and trusting yourself instead of putting your trust in something else.
Yeah. So, do you want me to share my beliefs about
I would
God?
love you to. Yes,
Okay.
please.
So I truly believe that that God is within us all, and we are an extension of God, and God works through us. And so it's not like God is this man in the sky looking up down upon us like we've all been taught, well, many of us have been taught, where we're being punished for every mistake we make, and we will be eternally punished if we sin in all the things, right? And that God wants us to do, you know, this or that or whatever. We have free will as human beings, but I truly believe that God wants everything that is beautiful for us, an abundant life, right? And we can have all these things that we desire. I believe that when we have desires, that we have hopes, we have dreams, it's actually God telling us what is meant for us, right? And like that we can have that's available to us. And I also believe in a loving and compassion and a forgiving God. Like, so I personally don't believe in hell. I don't believe that we would be eternally punished for a mistake that we've made, because we are human and we are here to make mistakes as well and that's how we grow, right? That's how we grow, we learn, and we change and we evolve. So that's just a little like look into what I feel God is and why I've been able to release so much fear, so much limitation in limiting beliefs and what I can achieve and what I can achieve and what is available to me, right? It's not like abundance is this pie that we're all sharing from. And if I have more, then, Sally over here doesn't have as much. It's not that. It's
Yeah.
unlimited, right? Like
Yeah.
everyone can have as much as they want of anything in life.
But I love that because we are an extension of Source. We are
Yes.
an extension of God, and like you, I came to the realization years ago that hell was constructed by man
Yes.
to put the fear of God in us,
Yes. Oh, I have
right?
chills.
Right,
Yeah.
so that we put you so that God punishes, and God does not punish, in my experience.
No.
The only ones that punish, actually, we are harder on ourselves, I think, than anybody else could be, because we punish
Yes.
ourselves a lot. We talk to ourselves very badly,
Mm-hmm.
and we treat ourselves very badly, or we have
Yeah.
done. We're getting a
Yeah.
bit better now, but I like that you. It's kind of like my father took me to church because I asked him, why did you take me to church? Because he told me years later that he didn't believe in anything. He didn't
Mm-hmm.
believe in God or anything. And I said, why did you take me to church? And he said, because we wanted you to have a grounding
Yep.
or
That's exactly
something
what my
that you
mom
could
said.
a grounding or something where you could make your own up your own mind as you grow older, and you can decide for yourself, but it was that grounding, right?
Yeah, that reminds me of a story that's so clear in my mind still, of kind of like this epiphany. I was in an airport and I was talking to my mom on the phone, and one of our colleagues, her daughter was sick. She gotten sick, and I said to her, why would God do this to a child? Like, why would God do this to a mother? I don't understand. And her response blew my mind, because this woman who, raised me Catholic, sent me to CCD for all the years. She was like, well, I believe that we all have, missions in life and in our lifetimes. And, we come here and incarnate for a certain purpose to help others with certain things. And then when we're finished with that, we go and we pass on and go on to our next life. So she's essentially telling me she believes in reincarnation and
Hmm.
not in like this heaven anymore. I was like, I'm sorry, what? Like, and it was like, all this time you believed in this? She's like, well, I wanted you to create your own beliefs and not like, be kind of swayed by mine. But it just almost like gave me permission to then believe in something else, to start exploring, to figure out what I actually believed, right? So I think that's important with spiritual journeys, right? There are no rules. You make it your own, and whatever you believe to be true is beautiful and perfect for you. And anyone else, if they don't agree with you, that's okay. It's neither right or wrong. It's your journey, and whatever that is for you, you make it your own.
Yeah, that you just took the words out of my mouth. It's not a cookie cutter experience.
No, definitely
It's
not.
a look at your fingerprint, because that is
Yeah.
unique in the world. There's nobody like you. You are here to forge your own path in your own way, and there's really you are really unique. There is nobody
Yeah,
like you,
for sure. 100%.
right? Um, so tell me about that. So you were gearing up then. Let's go back to the story again. So
Yeah.
you were gearing up then for this, taking over your mum's business.
Hmm.
So what was the point where you suddenly said, I don't think that's for me. I need to do something different. Tell us how that happened.
I mean, honestly, I was sitting on my friend's porch, visiting her. She lives in a different state right now, and I just said to her, and this is the first time I ever said it out loud. I'm like, I think I'm supposed to do something else, and it's not this. I'm like, I'm 95% sure. Like, and so for me, it was like kind of just opening myself up to spirit and asking, show me what I'm supposed to do here. Like, show me the way. And when you do that, then if you begin to pay attention, you'll notice different things will start to come into your atmosphere, environment, different opportunities. And for me, it was like a Facebook post. There was a Facebook group that came into my feed that was about soul purpose. And I was like, okay, I need to go in that group. And then, because that's what I was searching for. Then there was a post from some woman that was offering soul purpose sessions. I was like, yes, please. And so she ended up being, I ended up signing up with her to do mentorship for developing my psychic and intuitive abilities because, like I said before, I've always been that way and never had the time to do it. Well, now I do because we're in shutdown. So I did that. I studied with her for about 9 months, developing my psychic abilities, my intuitive healing abilities. But then I felt like there was still a piece missing. And I would go into meditation every day. I would ask spirit, like, what's my purpose? What am I here to do? And one day I heard teacher leader. And I was like, teacher? Like, about what? Like, what do I know? I'm just starting off. And it felt so daunting. And I felt like like, just almost like a newbie, right? But really, you're not really new to this. You're just becoming aware of these skills and abilities that you already had
Mhm.
and actually bringing them out. But anyway, so like long story short, I was on TikTok and another video came to my environment and it was about manifestation and mindset. And I had been kind of dabbling in manifestation work and wasn't really getting anywhere. So I was like, oh, there's this free training. Let me go check this out. So I did, and I signed up for the program to master mindset manifestation, and that completely changed my life in so many beautiful ways. Like to be able to learn about mindset work and how powerful we are and how we can decide how we feel, the thoughts that we have on a daily basis, how we act every day, completely did a 180 in how I showed up, what I believe to be true about myself, the world, others around me, and just made me so much happier. And I really started to have this, like, I remember saying to myself, I wish more people knew this information. I wish more people understood this, right? Understood manifestation and mindset and how they can create a life that they truly love. And then one day my mentor said, we need more people to spread this information, to teach it, to like help others. And it was like light bulb moment, right? So I became a certified mindset manifestation coach. And I did that and I still use it all the time in my coaching and mentorship. But I did that for about a solid year with then getting another pull of there's another piece missing here. There's something else you're ready for. There's a new level, right, to unlock. And that's when I found my light language, my ability to activate others and their soul purpose, their soul gifts, and really stepped in what I'm doing now with spiritual business mentorship and activating other people in different ways. So I tell you this story because it's not like it's not a destination, right? It's an evolvement, a journey. And yeah, I know you want to know what your purpose is, but just know that it can change over time as you
And
evolve
sometimes
and
it's
you
not
grow.
one. Sometimes it's not
Right.
one purpose.
Right. I mean, like I'm a healer, right? I do healings, and then
Yeah.
I'm over here doing spiritual mentorship, and then I'm over here doing Kundalini yoga, and then I'm
And you
teaching
maybe,
that,
and then you're also a mother and a wife and a daughter, and
Yeah, all the things.
right. It's not,
Yeah.
people get hung up on, oh, I've got one single purpose that I've got to
Right.
finish in this lifetime. That's not true. It's like, it's this lie that we've been told about, this
Yes.
spiritual purpose. And, no,
Yeah.
it evolves. I love that story. I love what you've just said. And
Yeah.
there's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
Um, I'll come back to the light language in a minute because
Sure.
I'd like you to talk about that.
Yeah.
But you talked about, oh, there was this just caught your eye, and this grabbed your attention, and
Yeah.
this came into my vision, and this came into synchronicities, no
Yes.
coincidence, right? We understand that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just meant to be that when you're on the path that you're aligned to, that brings you the joy or will bring you the most joy and will
Mm-hmm.
fulfill you. And we're talking about soul, right?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
not the human experience that everyone tells you should do this,
Yes,
but
exactly.
what fills up your soul. And those synchronicities just fall into place, don't they,
Oh, yeah,
on your journey?
exactly. That's just the thing. When you open yourself up, those opportunities will come into your life when you least expect them in the most unexpected ways. So we have to let go of the how. That's the biggest thing, right? We have to let go of the control and be like, well, I want to know or plan how it's going to happen because then we're limiting ourselves.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I've spoken to women, and we're doing like vision boards and what do you want to create,
Yeah.
and they said, oh, I had this thing in my mind, and then I opened the magazine and there's the picture, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Oh,
like,
cool.
well, that's synchronicity. That's not a
Yeah.
coincidence. They just said, oh yeah, coincidentally, I just found it. So I was just like, no, it's
Yeah.
no such thing as coincidence.
No, I
That's
would totally believe
obviously
that.
meant for you.
Yes, exactly. I totally believe that.
So you developed all of these different abilities from COVID, from 2020, and
Mm-hmm.
obviously that was your spiritual awakening.
Yeah.
Would you agree that 2020 was almost, well, the most of the 99% of the women I speak to, it was like a collective awakening?
Yeah, I would agree, definitely. It is kind of like when people really looked at what they were doing in their lives and shifted, right? And we're like, this is not it. Like, this is not how I'm supposed to be living life. And I think it was actually, as awful as it was for a lot of people, it was a blessing, right? To be able just to, for me, like my husband and I became even closer, right? We bonded together in that time of combining forces, to help deal with being in a small house with two small children, right? Like, and not being
Yeah,
able to go anywhere. It was for me really, I mean, I didn't hate it being home, right? If I'm
me
being
neither.
honest.
Me
Yeah.
neither. Me neither. And I think that's a lot of people felt the same. And we finally had time to stop
Yeah.
and evaluate our lives and say,
Hmm.
do I really want to go back to that job? Was I really happy? What do I want to do? What do I really want to do with my life? Now is the time. I've got the time to
Exactly.
explore what I want, because otherwise we're just going through the motions every day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. 100%. And then that's exactly what I was doing, was just going through the motions. And for me, it was kind of like I never really took the time for myself to actually figure out what I wanted to do. I would just be presented with something and I'd be like, okay, that sounds good. Like whatever, sure, that sounds good. And yes, I enjoyed my job, parts of it, when I was working with my mom. There's parts of it, like I said, that it just wasn't my passion. My industry wasn't what lit me up. So I knew I had to find something else that really actually lit me up.
Yeah, I was in the corporate world and I felt the same. I mean, I was very good at the Midas touch.
Yeah.
I just, everything I did, I was very good at it, but it just wasn't fulfilling my soul. And I couldn't
Yeah.
explain why I wasn't fulfilled. It was just something that was drastically missing.
I agree
Um,
100%.
right? And if you've got the courage, because you see, at that point, when you realize that there's something missing,
Yeah.
you've got to have the courage to go and find what that is. And
Oh, yeah.
many women don't are too frightened to do that. They're
Well, yeah, I think it's also because of our programming, right?
right.
Like, I don't know about you, but I was programmed to believe like we graduate high school, we go to college, we get the job, we find the husband, have the 2.5 kids and the house, all the things, right? Like these are just what you do. And God forbid you leave your job, that a security, to go follow your dreams and not have anything to back it up with. Oh, heck no. Like that is not something you would do. And people still are very scared to do that. And I
Yeah,
understand that. Like I
yeah,
totally get it, right? Um, and so like if you are someone that is searching, like feels unfulfilled, I would just like implore you to start exploring, start just playing in your free time. What is it that you actually like doing? What is it that's fun for you? What is it that's lighting you up? And maybe you start a hobby, maybe you start it on the side until you can gradually go into it. I would never recommend someone just to all of a sudden wake up one day and quit their 9 to 5 job because
I
your
don't
nervous
recommend that
system would
either.
not be ready for it, and you would flip out, you would spiral, you would self-sabotage everything, and it would not be good. So I really much, for me personally, like I gave my mom a 2 year notice, like because that's when she was scheduled to retire. And I said, when you retire in 2 years, we're done, right? And so, which talk about courage, like talk about courage to tell your mom that you don't want to take over their company, right? But she was completely supportive and like totally understood. And I think she's
Good.
happier this way anyway, because she's no longer has to be involved, right? Because she would have had to be involved had I stayed still, even after retirement. But my point is like allow yourself to ease into it and do it on the side, find those things so that you can go into it and have that confidence knowing I will be okay, right? Not just the shock to your nervous system to be like, oh my God, now what do we do? I'm screwed. Like,
It's true. It's true. And there are some women that I know that did that.
yeah,
And literally they just didn't have a plan. They planned financially and
yeah,
they took to take some time off between while they
yeah,
reevaluated what they wanted to do.
for sure. Yeah,
And that's good planning. And if, then you can reassess and reevaluate. You can take some time to calm your nervous system,
yeah,
recalibrate, and
yeah.
then decide, okay, what am I going to do now? What's next for
Mm-hmm.
me?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe
Yeah.
that is to go again, get another job,
It
right?
could
Maybe,
be. It
and
could
it could
be.
be just maybe it's a different type of job that's less stress, less pressure, and gives you more
Yeah.
flexibility. Or it could be taking the leap and going to start your own business, but it doesn't have to be,
No, and that's the thing. It
right?
doesn't have to be. I mean, I know people that are very successful that they call burning the boats, right? Like they literally jump ship, burn the boat, and like there's no going back, right? So, and it's worked for them too. But most people, what I've seen and what I myself have experienced as well, some like that gradual into it is going to allow you to sustain and not burn out and not have constant like kind of spirals and meltdowns. So that's why I would never just tell someone, well, just quit your job and go do the thing, right? Like that to me is not the best advice. I would not tell you not to if that's what you want to do, but just with caution and knowing, making sure you have the right things in place. Like you said, some finances, right? Your finances in place. Maybe you have some savings, or maybe you have a support team like a mentor or coach to help you through that energetically because it is a huge energetic shift when you do something like that.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and you can burn the bridges, but I wouldn't recommend it to be honest, just because it doesn't feel very good to burn bridges. It's nicer to say goodbye
Oh
on
yeah.
an even keel, right?
No, what I mean by that is like just like there's no boat to take you back to where you were,
Right.
right? It's
Yeah.
not like you're burning bridges like in with people. It's just you yourself. You have no way of physically getting back because your vessel is gone.
Yeah, right. It's burnt to ashes. There's just no way.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about so it was again, I'm going back to your story because there was a lot to
Hmm.
unpack. So you started diving deeper into your spiritual journey and your intuitive gifts, which
Hmm.
we all have, by the way.
Yes.
By the way,
By the way, you're all psychic.
you're all psychic. You just got to tune in and listen to yourself.
Yep.
That's funny. So you started obviously diving into that journey, and then you did the manifesting,
Hmm.
and I understand about that, and I think most of us do these days because there's a lot of people talk a
Yes.
lot about manifesting. Some of it's okay, some of it's not okay, but
Hmm.
um, and we won't. That's a whole other podcast, so we won't go
Yeah.
there. But then you started talking about light language, and I'd like you to
Hmm.
talk about that because I understand what that is as a channeler,
Yes.
but I want you to take us through that
Yeah.
journey.
Yeah, and thank you for that opportunity because yes, I know many people are like, I have no idea what you're talking about, or that is just kooky, walky, whatever. So for me, light language is kind of like a cosmic channeling of frequencies. So you may have heard people speak in what like they call like tongue, or like you don't really know what they're speaking in. And it's not so much like a language, like where it's words that they all have meanings. For me, it's frequencies. And my light language is very much what I call toning. So it's more of like singing, loud vibrations that I channel that come out of my mouth that are like next level, next world, like move you, shift your frequency to a new level. So basically activating whatever intention I'm putting behind that activation. Like today, I did one inside of my monthly membership for activating their next level self and activating their inner power, their inner confidence, their ability to move towards their goals, right? Like taking that momentum forward. So activating that within them. And what that does is it changes your vibration and your frequency so that you start taking those steps towards whatever it is that you're working towards, right? Or like I say, activate people's soul gifts and their soul purpose. So bringing them out, unleashing them, awakening them. So in the next, weeks or months, those opportunities start to come towards you faster and your awareness is open to them to be like, okay, well, maybe I'm going to go take this class or this training or this certification. Or you actually start to tune into your intuition more than you did before because you're starting to be able to notice it, to hear it, to see it, right? So it's kind of like I said, it's just opening up these things that are already within you, bringing you to that frequency, to that level that you're ready for.
Yeah, so I like that because if you most of it comes from most channelers actually were good singers.
And I was not a good singer at all, which is
Right,
so funny.
they trained as singers if you were, or they know how to sing. They've got good voices. Because it is the toning.
Yeah.
Um um a channeler I trained with Daniel Scranton who does a lot of voice activation when he's
Hmm.
channeling, which um we won't go into so much detail of that,
Yeah.
but I understand what you're saying about the tones. But you can understand because it comes from music. I mean, we can heal, and I think we are getting closer and closer to understanding how certain tones have the vibration to heal parts of our body.
Yes. Yes. That's so powerful. All right. I mean, that's all
Yeah,
over healing frequencies for different things, right? And
yeah,
just think about music in general when you listen to a song and how it shifts your emotions in
yeah,
such a powerful way.
yeah. So I mean, I think that's the next step. I think, and I think, someone like yourself that's already, attuned and
Hmm.
tuning in, that's going to be the next step, I think, in our evolution away from maybe some medical procedures, and it's going to happen. It's a process. But I think that we're going to start understanding how much vibration there is in the music,
Yeah.
the tuning, the
Yeah.
tones, and
Yeah.
and how that, when you're in a sound bath,
Hmm.
sound baths, and how
Yes. Very healing.
amazing, oh my God, just blows your mind, sound baths.
Hmm.
Um, and how that's going to become a thing in the future. But I love the fact that you're using it um to to tune in. So tell me where they come from, because I know that you've got something called the Light Council. Is that
Yeah.
is that your guides?
Yeah, so for me, the Light Council really came to being as like my business name and what I have a Light Council method and series. And so since I channel different entities such as, spirit guides, angels, because I use angels in healing and I do spirit guides and messages, right? God and messages, and also now the cosmic beings channeling them and the energy, right? Or the frequencies of that, it's really like this combination of all these different counselors that I use in my work. So that's kind of how that name came to be because it's not just one place,
Because
right?
they're all guardians of light.
Yes,
They're all
yes.
spirits of light, right? It's all benevolent,
Yeah. And so really
benevolent
just
beings.
like creating this council of light workers, right? And so, really just helping others step into their light and their power to help raise the frequency and the vibration of the world as well.
Hi, I just wanted to pop on here just to say thank you so much for being here, watching this video, and supporting my channel. It is my honor to bring you these stories from these incredible women who are passionate about their lives and have alchemized their spiritual awakening journeys from service to self to service to others. If you would like to be part of my Passionista community, just grab a free copy of my workbook, which you'll find a link below. It's called Your Passionista Journey Starts Here. And start making those small changes to your life that you need right now. Thank you again for being here. Love you to subscribe and hit the notification button so that you know when all the new weekly episodes are live. Thanks again, Passionista. Much love and joy. Now let's get back to the interview. Fantastic. So I want to ask, so thank you for that. Thank you for
Yeah.
clarifying that, because I love that you use that on your in your soul guidance. You also use
Hmm.
this light language. Um, so let's talk about the layers,
Mm.
because we did talk about it at the beginning when we started talking, and that's the unconditioning.
Yeah.
We've been conditioned to do this. We should do this. We should have, as you said, 2.4 children, get married, have
Right.
a job, do this, do this, do this, and do what everybody's doing, the cookie cutter,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So, for you, what were the biggest limiting beliefs and um, conditionings that you had
Yeah.
that you've had to let go of?
There's so many, right? Like, and I think for me, the biggest one was my ability to be able to create a life that I truly love and not feel stuck, right? In finances and my job, right? Being like that, this is just what you do. And really also like that I have to believe certain things. And I love one of my mentors uses a phrase all the time, and she says, according to who? Right? Like, according to who? Like, who made this rule? Who said that we have to do these things? Who said that this is beauty, that this is, powerful? Like, all these things, right? So for me, it was really discovering that, like, I have my own beliefs, and that's okay. And no one else can tell me which is right, which is wrong. It's up to me to decide, right? And the same thing with anyone else. Like, I would never tell anyone that their beliefs are wrong, because if it's serving them in the moment to be the best person they possibly can, then that is exactly perfect for them. So it's really hard for me to even remember now, because I've been on this journey for over 5 years now, like officially, right? Like, what was the biggest limiting belief? And I think for me, honestly, it was financial, right? That I could never reach to a level of finances that I've been able to reach, right? Or make the kind of money that I want doing the job that I have. Like, because that's very limited, right? When you're in a salary job, like, you know how much you're going to make, and there's nothing really you can do until you ask for a raise. But knowing that I can attract money and unexpected money from so many different sources and unexpected ways, and then I'm always abundant, I always have more than enough. Like, so really, like, for me, it was transmuting that belief that I always have enough, and it's not, I never have enough. You know what I'm saying? And that I am abundant already, instead of feeling like, oh my gosh, I have like nothing and I'm so broke and all the things, right? So it really, for me, was changing those beliefs around money and how I thought about it, how I felt about it, the shame that came with, having debt at the, and everything like that. That's a whole nother conversation. But so
A
much
whole other
around that.
podcast.
That's a whole other podcast, which we talk about, like the energetics of money and all the
Money
things,
doesn't grow on trees.
all the things.
There's never enough. Money's the root
Right.
of all evil. All of
Yeah.
these.
So
Yeah.
many. Yeah. Yeah. So that's like one of my specialties, is honestly is like helping people manifest money and unexpected money, and just, increasing their money flow into their lives too.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm going to correct you. I'm going to correct you on something, because you said My spiritual journey started 5 years ago.
Well, like the I
It
know, but like
it
you,
sped up five
right.
years ago, and it went
Yeah.
into overdrive 5 years ago. Right?
Right. The big awakening, right? Like the big, like, boom, like here you
Yeah,
are.
that's it. That's it. The same thing that happened to everybody collectively. Boom!
Right.
This is the time, right? This is why it
Right.
happened. I think is
Like the shoulder shake.
wake,
Like, wake
wake
up.
up, right? Wake up, and it was like a collective thing. Everybody, wake up!
Right. There was no more gentle
No,
coddling. Like, okay, no, we're done with this. Let's
we've
go.
done this for 100 years. We're tired now. We just got to wake everybody up. How can we do that? Oh, a pandemic. All right, then let's go. Let's do
Right?
that.
Oh my God, I love it. It's hilarious.
Let's do that. That seems like the perfect solution.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh my God.
So let's talk about your inner Google. So I want to talk about, we talked about the layers and the conditioning, the limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
Now, how do you manage to tune out the world, tune out the noise of the world, and tune into the inner guidance and that inner wisdom that's innate in all of us?
Yeah.
How did you find that, and how do you teach that, Elizabeth?
That's a really great question. And like first and foremost, I don't watch the news. Like that's first and foremost. I mean, I keep myself up to date on like really important things, right? And but I'm not constantly with the news on every day because I found like if you ever watch a news segment like your local news, it's like repetitive of the same negative stories over and over again. The crime, the whatever bad things. Maybe they'll throw in a happy segment here and there, but it's like,
If you're
what are you,
lucky.
if you're lucky, right? Like here's a school doing whatever and it's fun, but usually it's just you're literally programming yourself to be in a negative state. So it really was turning that off, and then for me it was taking time to actually sit and be still and go into meditation. And trust me, I am someone that when I first started this, I was like, I can't meditate, I can't quiet my mind, I don't know how, I suck at this, right? But meditation is a practice. So it's like a muscle. You just, the more you do it, the easier it gets. So it's kind of like giving yourself grace and starting small. And, I started off with guided meditations and just like 10-minute guided meditations, right? And every time, if you are someone that's like, I can't meditate, my mind won't shut off, I can't stop my thoughts, it's because you're not grounded. You're not grounded in your energy. And what that means is you're not basically coming back into your body, right? You're in your mind instead of your heart. So there's different tools and techniques I give my clients, just really quickly if you want to ground. It's a 4 breath count of breathing in for 4 counts, holding for 4 counts, releasing for 4 counts, doing that 4 times. I use alternate nostril breath work as well, which activates both sides of your brain. You can Google it, it's super easy, YouTube it. And then I also, call upon my spirit team. Everyone has a spirit team, angels, spirits, guides, whatever. That's what I say, and I ask them to come in to give me what do I need to know today. It's just asking a simple question. Another thing you can do if you don't like to meditate and maybe you like to journal is just free write, right? Like just sit with a journal, write out the question, what do I need to know today? And just allow yourself to start writing whatever comes through, right? Like just allow yourself to write words, just even if it's just you're writing out your thoughts, right? Just start writing out your thoughts, and eventually you're going to be brain dumping all of the ego-based thoughts, and eventually those higher self thoughts are going to start coming through.
Oh yeah, I was nodding all the way through that. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the square breathing.
Yeah, they call it
Yeah,
box breathing, but
yeah,
for
box
some
breathing,
reason
that's
I
it.
don't
I
know why
square
I'm
breathe.
like,
Square
but
dancing, square box breathing.
But for me, I don't understand it because it's like mine is only like 3 steps, and box breathing is 4, right? Because it's a box, like it's 4-sided, but
Yeah.
mine's, breathe in for 4, hold for 4, release for 4. I guess 4 times if you count that. Like, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, clicking your fingers maybe.
Yeah, maybe,
Two,
maybe.
three, hold 2, 3, out 2, 3. Then you go to the next one and you
Yeah.
do the 3, and then you do the 3 again, and then the 3 again, right? So it's
Yeah.
64. Yeah. And the journaling is great. See, I'm a journaler, but I'm also in touch with my team, and I do the same. And I have to say, I have to give you credit, Elizabeth, because if you started on 10-minute guided meditations, that was 9 minutes more than I could manage when I started.
Well, that's because my psychic development teacher was like, you need to go meditate and you have to take time if you want to develop your psychic abilities.
Yeah,
Like you have to do this. Like,
yeah,
and that sounds rigid, but like it's a practice and it's
it
it's
is.
just what I needed to do to be able to tap into my intuition.
It's like everything else, it's a muscle, isn't it? You've got to
Yes.
practice, practice, practice. But I think I had a monkey mind and I started with
Mm-hmm.
about a 1 minute meditation. But it
Yeah.
it did go obviously, it got the 10-minute meditation, then 15, 20. I couldn't have a guided meditation now. It would really distract me. I just like to,
Yeah, it's really difficult for me to have guided meditations as well. I'm
yeah.
kind of like, okay, get to the point.
Yeah, just asking the tune in, who's with me today? What do I need to know? And I'm an avid journaler. I love
Yeah.
to journal. And I'm the same. Sometimes it's just a brain dump. Sometimes it's like, okay, who's talking to me today? What do I need to know?
Yeah.
Messages are amazing, honestly. And it
Mm-hmm.
and for people listening, ladies, it's just don't be afraid of what you write down because you could read it
Mm-hmm.
back afterwards and go, oh, it's just doesn't really make a lot of sense, or you know, most of the time you might find when you start journaling that or meditating that you start to cry
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
whoever the benevolence that are coming to you or channeling through you when you're writing, it's all love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all love. And
How
I
many
mean, I
times
use,
do I, sorry, how many times do I write down? Sorry to interrupt. How many times
yeah,
do I
no, you're
write
fine.
down? How many times do you write down, Elizabeth, if you're journaling? And it's all, we love you, we love you, we love you, we love you.
Yeah, exactly. For me, yeah, I mean, it's all the time like you're doing great. Keep going. Like
Yeah,
all the things, right? I was
yeah.
just gonna say I also use crystals a lot in the beginning. Like I would have a crystal in my left hand, I would have one on my third eye, like laying down, and that really allowed me to actually feel energy for the first time. Like I started to be able to feel vibration in my body because it was like crystals are a conduit, right, of energy. So if you're still struggling, that's something else you can do.
I've always got this one with me here by my
Yeah,
laptop
that's
every
beautiful.
time for all meetings. It's always here actually when I'm working because it's quartz and amethyst.
Mm-hmm.
So it's for
Yeah.
clear thinking, clear minds. And I always actually before I clear the energy as well before I have any meeting.
Yeah, for
And I
sure.
always
That's the
say
best way to
the
do it.
best result for everybody.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. And it's a simple little practice, but it's,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and again, I know we feel self-conscious about everything. We think that people are going to judge us or they're going to laugh at us. They're going to, oh, what's she talking about? You don't need to talk to anybody, do you, Elizabeth, about it? You just need to find your group.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. And it can be very scary to come out to, especially if you don't have others around you that are going through a spiritual journey or believe these kinds of things. I mean, I know this too. Like, and I think that was one of the scariest thing was like, okay, guess what, guys? I'm psychic now. You know what I mean? Like, to come out of the
By the
spiritual
way,
closet like that. By the way, like I'm like, hi, I'm psychic now, and I've been doing this behind closed doors for the last 6 months, and now I have these abilities. Like, and to really be truthful and honest, it really does take removing the fear of judgment, right? And not caring what others think of you, because really at the end of the day, the only thing that matters, the only opinion that matters is yours and what you think about yourself, what you believe about yourself. And so we want to get to the place where you really truly believe in your divine being and yourself and your light. So that's a big part of it too, right? Is like blocking out the noise, is what is it that you believe to be true and what you want to believe to be true, and knowing that everyone else that has an opinion, that's all it is an opinion. It's not a fact, right? So it doesn't make it true unless you
they
make it true.
they said it. Who's they?
Right.
Right?
Who's they? Who
Who's
cares?
they? Well, they always say it. Who's they? What do you mean?
I know, I know. So but it does take work. It does take
It
practice,
takes
right?
work. It takes practice.
Yeah, yeah, and it takes time, and that's a big part of peeling the layers back too, right? Is with this journey and how you're saying it's not easy and pulling back the layers, like you'll heal something And then you're like, oh, cool, I feel great. Then months down the road, it comes up again. And I mean, I've had this happen to me multiple times where it's like, I thought I already healed this, but no, there's a new layer to it, right? There's a new way of it being. And just to give you a simple example, like I was healing my father passing away, and I did it a couple different times, and then I was at an event, and it was like, what is it that I need to heal right now? And my father came up again, and I was like, what the heck? Like, I have healed this multiple times. I'm over this. But I didn't realize until later that night when we went through an inner child healing that it was that piece of left that I needed to heal. It was another layer, right? Like that deep inner child, like that had to heal as well from all of the things that transpired, in my life. And I love my father. It wasn't bad or anything like that. But all of, those things that went along with it.
Yeah, I had a similar thing. And I didn't think I had anything to heal because I had a great father. He was lovely, but there were some things
Yeah.
that I needed to kind of, in fact, write. I needed to
Yeah.
write down. I needed to write down. But um, gosh, I've forgotten what else I was going to ask you about that. Um, New level, new devil.
Mm.
And also the spiritual journey. That's what I was going to talk about. So it's the up and down that we talked about.
Yeah.
And the dark nights of the soul, and again, people have heard this word, dark night of the soul, and it's when you surrender. That's been my experience, when you surrender completely, and you're just like, okay, what do I need to do now? Because
Mm-hmm.
things have to things have to break down
Yeah.
to build them up again. And sometimes it
100%.
feels like you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders, or you're just crumbling.
Yeah, yeah, it's like the tower moments, right? In
Power
tarot, there's a
moments. Yeah.
tower card where it looks like people are literally jumping out of the building, and like,
Yeah. Yeah.
but really, it's really like you said, it's things have to fall apart so they can be rebuilt in a better way, in a
Yeah.
stronger way, right? Like with a better foundation and in a new way that is upgraded, right? That's up leveled. So, it's like when you have a kitchen that's like really old, what do? You tear it apart so you can rebuild it in a more beautiful, updated way. It's the same thing with ourselves, our ego, our body, everything, right? Our minds, same thing. So just knowing that this too shall pass, and
Yeah.
it's not permanent, it's a temporary thing. And I think the most important part of that is when you're having those lower moments is not to give meaning to it. Because when we give meaning to something, which we have the power to decide how we feel about anything that happens in our life, when we give something a negative feeling, that's when we start to have those lower feelings, those lower vibrational emotions, and being in that low vibe state. But if you remain in a place of neutrality, where it's neither good or bad, it just is. And what is this trying to teach you in the moment? How can you grow from this? How can you evolve from this? What can you learn? That's when you don't have those huge dips, right? You go, because it's so easy to be way up here, but when those highs are highs, those lows are lows. So
Yeah.
how can we make it a little bit more level so it's not so low and so high at the same time?
Yeah, and that's a difficult balance. Um, but yes, the spiritual journey is, it's not all roses and
No,
sweetness and light.
but it's so worth it.
But it's worth it, right? And
Yeah.
it is because, like you said, like you've got to demolish the kitchen to make a new one. You've got to break down the old, and that's the conditioning and everybody else's
Mhm.
opinions and what your teachers told you and your parents and your grandparents and society and
Yeah.
all the rest of it, and design the life that you want and you love.
Yeah.
That's like
Exactly.
building the new kitchen. And to do
Right.
that, you've got to break down the old. And sometimes it's gnarly, and it comes with shame and embarrassment and, you
Mm-hmm.
know, oh, I don't want to upset anybody. You
Yeah.
know, that's
Yeah.
their
That's
beliefs. And I
the
don't want
the
to,
people pleasing, right?
right? The people pleasing. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So tell me, how is your daily life and your relationships and your overall sense of well-being changed since really embracing this
Yeah.
spiritual
My
awakening?
My day feels so spacious and so free that I get to decide what I do each and every day right now. I used to visualize when I was working in my 9 to 5 in my other house. I would used to visualize and imagine my perfect day. And that would be waking up, in my dream home, which we now live in, and then going and doing my spiritual practices, getting my kids off to school, doing a workout in my home, taking a shower in the morning because I used to shower only at night because I didn't have time in the morning, and then going and doing my clients, my work, the thing that lit me up, right? And then being able to, have afternoon coffee with my husband, and then the kids come home, we do dinner, we do family time, and whatever else. And that's pretty much how I live my life now,
Sounds
honestly.
like freedom.
Freedom. I can travel when I want. I can do all these things, right? Like I choose how I live each and every day. And if I don't feel like doing a workout that day, I don't give myself crap. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go do my spiritual practice a little bit longer, right? It's really just listening to what my body and my soul needs in the moment every single day and being able to live in my life's purpose every single day. So, yes, freedom is just really like the ability to do what you want when you want, right? And that's exactly how I get to live my life now every single day since I decided to say yes to that calling, to that awakening, to stepping into allowing source energy in this beautiful way.
Yeah, it's funny because how many people tell me, "Oh, you're so lucky. You live in the mountains in Italy." Lucky.
Not luck, it's choice.
I designed this life.
Everything is a choice. Everything. Even if you don't feel like it's a choice, it is.
Yeah,
Everything is a choice.
yeah.
And I know that's a hard pill for some people to swallow,
Hmm.
but that's, what shifting your mindset will allow you to believe and to
Yeah,
know.
yeah. And creating the freedom, I understand that. I don't do
Yeah.
mornings. I don't have an alarm clock. I do all my things in the morning first before I start, and I don't start till about lunchtime, 11,
Yeah.
about 11 o'clock I start for me.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I like my mornings for me.
Me too.
It's really
Exactly.
important for me.
Besides getting kids off to school, but
Well,
that's
you get the
temporary.
yeah, but you get the kids off to school, and that's like
Yeah.
9 o'clock, and then you've got some time for yourself, haven't you?
100%. Yeah. And even in between, I have time for myself in that morning. And if I chose to, I could get up before they get up and do my morning routine if I wanted to, which I used to do when I first started my journey. I used to get up a half hour before they would, or an hour before they would get up, even because I wanted to dedicate that time to myself.
Nice.
But it's a choice,
It is a
right?
choice. It is a choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's just touch on one final question.
Yeah.
And that's about the collective consciousness of the planet. We
Hmm.
seem to be moving away from service to self to service to others.
Yeah.
So, how is this your experience, and what are you finding this?
Hmm.
How are you finding this experience? Because that's exactly what
Yeah.
you've done, right?
100%, that's exactly what I've done and why I do the work that I do, because I truly believe since, we are all an extension of God, we are all connected. So we all can feel each other, whether we know it or not, right? And so for me, what I truly believe to be true, the more people that raise their own vibration, that raise their own frequency, and send love out to the world, send love to others, send love to those that are, suffering right now, the more that we all raise up, the easier it will be for the world, the consciousness, humanity as a whole to raise their frequency. And what happens when we're in a higher elevated frequency is we're happier, we're more loving, we're more compassionate. So what happens? That reduces crime, that reduces, conflict, it reduces wanting to hurt, like not wanting to hurt each other, but hurting each other without compassion, right? Like lack of compassion for each other, for the human. And so really essentially, as cliche as this sounds, this is how we're going to heal the world. This is how we're going to save humanity, is by everyone stepping up into their purpose, stepping up into the light, allowing it in and raising their consciousness. Whether you end up doing something of service as like, your quote unquote job, you can still be of service by complimenting someone out, that you see today. Doing something out of kindness without expectation of something in return.
Yeah.
right? Coming from compassion and love first and foremost, rather than judgment, right? So ask yourself, am I coming from a place of judgment right now, or am I coming from a place of love when you have a feeling or a thought about another human being?
Beautifully said.
Yeah. Thank you.
Beautifully said. I have to agree with everything you said. Right, two final questions I ask all my guests, Elizabeth. If
Hmm.
you could go back in time, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Yeah, I think there's two things here is don't worry so much. I used to worry all the time about the future, how things were going to turn out, if I was ever going to make it, all the things, right? Don't worry so much. And also, don't be a Karen. Like, simply
Don't be a
put, like
Karen.
don't be sorry, Karens. But like don't be so unkind and coming and really going back to that compassion and love piece. Come from compassion and not judgment. Stop judging others. Stop, give people the benefit of the doubt. And how can you come back in that love and compassion rather than trying to be right, all the time?
And what do you hope your story will inspire in other women who are looking to live a more purposeful and joyful life?
I hope that you will answer the call, that you will say yes, and you will allow source energy in, spirit in to show you the way on how to serve others, to how be of service, how to find your fulfillment, what lights you up, because that's what you're here to do. You're here to live the fullest expression of yourself and what excites you the most. So I really do hope you will allow that in and start exploring, start having fun, and start letting it come into your life and not be afraid. And even if you are afraid, push past the fear. It's the hardest thing to do, but fear is man-made. It is not a natural emotion, so allow yourself to push through towards that excitement and love and joy.
Fantastic. What a way to finish. A million thanks to Elizabeth for joining me today. Thanks to our audience for hanging out with us. We hope you found it inspiring and empowering, and you'll find all you need to know about both of us in the details below. So until next time, this is the Passionate Pioneer and Elizabeth signing off. Goodbye.
Thank you so much.
Wow, another powerful Passionista conversation. I hope that this guest's journey, experience, and story has inspired something deep within you. Remember, it's about following the joy moments in your life. It's a beautiful dance with the universe. If you would like to dive deeper into your joy journey with me, you will find all the links below this video, including a link to a free workbook that will help you to start your joy journey. And until next time, Passionista, I'll say goodbye. Much love and joy.